I'm Tom Osman, and this is Whatever Comes Next, the podcast where I explore the world of underground and independent music making. And on today's episode, I am talking with Pierrick, who, alongside Damien, is one half of alternative rock duo French alternative rock duo OCRE, who are soon to be releasing their debut full-length record, So Often Lifeblood Comes from Ashes. And the album is being released courtesy of three different labels, in fact: Atypeek Music, Araki Records, and Urgence Disc. And for the time being, there are ways that you can download the album digitally. You can get that from Bandcamp. There was some discussion, or I believe that there is a plan for the album to be released physically, but I believe as of the time of recording this, there are no links for that yet. But anything that is available at the time I post this, I will put into the description. And in general, Pierrick says the best way to keep track of the band is to go to their Bandcamp page or the Instagram page for the band, both of which I will link in this. And as is always the case with this podcast, I'm doing this episode because I listened to the music and I really liked it. It takes me back, a lot of this music, to my teens, my alternative rock listening teens. And I think probably more than any track, and one track that we talk about in the interview is It Was Nothing. I would say that's the one that really kind of resonated the most with me. So that's going to be the track that I'm going to play at the end of this interview. And Pierrick and I talk about the album. We talk about influences, musical influences and inspirations, the French music business, which was quite interesting for me to learn more about, and other such things. And so, yes, with me having a couple of days ago had one of my wisdom teeth ripped out from my body, the less talking I do, the better. So I will just finish by saying you can follow me on all social media at Tom Osman Sounds. You can check out what I'm doing musically at tomosmansounds.com. Here's something I don't usually say: like and subscribe, thumbs up, comment, all those kind of things that are supposed to help the algorithms that I don't understand. Should you feel so inclined to do so, that would be lovely. And without further ado, Pierrick from OCRE, take it away.
Is it uphill, no joy, or past and present, or power so dull as the sun?
Tom, nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Pierrick.
Cake.
Sorry, Damien cannot come because he had a lot of work.
No problem. I wasn't sure whether it would be the two of you or just you, but either way, totally fine for me. You have what looks to me like either it could just be a home rehearsal space, but it could also be a recording space. Is it one or both?
Is it the classroom where I work? I am a vocal teacher.
Ah, okay.
And it's a place where I had mixed the album,
yep.
the LP, and I had recorded vocals here.
Right, okay. Yeah, because I do want to get into talking about the album and the sound, mixing, etc., different dimensions of that. But I suppose the first thing that I should say is that you are 50% of OCRE, I think is correct to say.
Yes.
And so your first release, the two of you under that name, was in 2022, right? You had an EP out then, and now you're about to release your debut album, So Often Lifeblood Comes from Ashes.
Yes.
I've forgotten, is it self-released or do you have a label for that?
It's a little bit a mix. We have 3 labels. Sorry for my English. I am so French about this.
No, please. The first thing I have to say is no need to apologize for anything as far as language goes. I always admire and respect anybody that talks to me in their second or third language. So you are above me in that sense. I speak a bit of German, but I could never do an interview in German. So no need to apologize.
Okay. So about labels, we have one who is Atypeek Music. and they work just on digital for put the EP and LP on streaming platforms.
Yeah.
They just done this, but they do this very, very, very well.
Mm.
And we have two second independent labels who try to help us. And what the one is Araki Records,
Mm.
and it's just one guy.
Okay.
Before there were two. No, it's one guy. It's Simon, who is very, very nice. I don't had even meet him in real,
Mm.
but we exchange mail and a lot of list of things that we had listened and things that we like. And so it's a very, very small level. And there's one other who is Urgence disc record, and they are in Switzerland. And it's a historical disc seller of a place was called l'usine, so the factory.
Yeah.
And it's a place where they have shows and at the first step you have this market.
Okay.
But
And
we will need to have a little bit of I don't know how to say subvention,
I'm not sure.
grants.
Ah, do you know, I'm happy that you brought that up because that was one of the things I was going to ask you about because I've interviewed a few musicians from France, from Belgium, and I think it came up with a Belgium band, maybe with a French band as well, the topic of getting government grants. So I was interested to find out from you if that was something that you'd tapped into for making music.
We try. For now, we never have had this. We have tried 2 or 3 times, and the answer was always nope.
Yeah.
But we will try because when you are just two in a band, it's difficult because for the cost of things, you just have to cut in half.
Yeah.
If you are in a 5-piece band, you cut in five, etc., etc. So we will need to have grants to release this in vinyls
Yeah,
because
okay.
it's very,
So
very, very expensive.
yeah. So at the moment, what are the expectations with physical copies of the album?
We hope. For now, it's digital,
Yeah.
and we will see for vinyls.
And I have the feeling, so one of the first things I should say, I really like the album and
Thanks.
it makes me there were particular things actually like the second track It Was Nothing. I think that has to be my favorite track and it honestly that song, I think particularly in the chorus, it really like activates some sort of emotional memory of being a teenager, which partly makes me think that we might be of a similar age and we maybe grew up on similar music because it's just like there's something in the melody that makes me go like, oh, I remember what it felt like to be a teenager. Like it really kind of like gets me in the soul. So are you like late 30s, early 40s? Is that kind of your age range?
I'm 38.
Then that fits pretty much in my ideas because when I'm listening to the album, I'm thinking I hear things like bands that I loved growing up, like Dinosaur Jr., Queens of the Stone Age, Sonic Youth, Helmet in places, I think maybe like a lot of alternative rock, sometimes a bit on the heavier end of the spectrum. I think actually I saw an Instagram post from the band where I saw a Queens of the Stone Age vinyl. So I thought, right, that fits. So yeah, like for you, and I think like Damien, is that how I should say his name? It's probably not Damien.
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 Yes, it
Damien.
is.
I understand that the two of you have known each other for a long time. So was that something that you bonded on early? Was your shared tastes in music?
Yes, yes. We meet together when we were in high school,
Mm.
and we had formed our first band together. At the beginning, we were two, and at the end of the band, we were six.
Okay.
What a mess! and so yes, we had discovered the same, nearly not the same thing, I think, but it's a long time that we always share music that we like, and even if it's new or if it's an old music, we always share music,
Yeah.
and not in just one style of music, one genre. we always listen to a lot of things.
What's some of the music that you remember like having the biggest impact on you that you first fell in love with? Because I can remember it's kind of it feels weird looking back, but Sonic Youth was one of the first bands
Yes,
that I really, really loved. And I didn't it took a long time for me to get into a lot of other, noise rock or
yeah,
alternative rock. But for some reason, Sonic Youth got me really early on, which I think has led me down a road because I played guitar for a while, never at a great level, but I often liked to mess around with tunings and, like come up with different sounds. And I think Sonic Youth had a big influence on me in that respect. So they were one for you as well.
yes, really, really, really. Yeah, if I need to say about bands who had influenced me, Sonic Youth is one of the biggest. Really, really. At first, when I was a little child, my grandmother and my parents made me discover Queen. So Queen
Hmm.
was my favorite band, even I was nearly 10 or 11, eight.
Yeah.
And after I had discovered bands like Iron Maiden
Hmm.
and other things like Placebo. Placebo was a
Yeah.
very, very, very important band for me.
Yeah. I
And
remember I had the first album on a pink cassette of Placebo. I think, or was it? No, I might be mixing them up, but I had like early Placebo 7 inches and I had the first album on cassette. Yeah, I was really, really into them right at the beginning.
yeah, and it's very fun because this one is a little bit kind of Sonicus with a lot of pop and
Yes.
a little bit of punk, but it's
Yep.
never pop punk.
Yeah.
And
True.
so Placebo was a very, very, very important thing for me because I feel like a widow when I was
Mm.
when I was a child, and to see that there's a band like this with widows was very I don't know how to say. I can say, oh, I can be like this. I can be myself. I can do what I want. I
Yeah.
don't need to
Relatable.
be like this or like that. And it was very, very, very important in my life. And after, I think when I was 14 years, I had discovered Sandicus. A friend
Mm.
of mine made me listen to Sister,
Yes.
and the first song, Schizophrenia, is one of my favorite song in all the world. Really,
Yeah.
really, really. It's very, very important. And for noise, for me, it was nearly the same because when you discover Sonicus, it's nearly endless because
Yeah,
you have
totally.
a lot of LP. You need to take time to listen to this. What's
Yeah,
your
that's true.
favorite Sonicus album?
I'm going to say something that's very, very uncool. And I think that this is maybe because it was the first one of their albums that I got into. I've seen people say that this is their worst album, but I think my favorite Sonic Youth album is actually Dirty.
Okay, no, it's a good album, I think.
But do you know, Sister was a big one for me, and Evil as well.
Mhm.
And like I think around about the time that I got into them was about 1994. So like Experimental Jet Set Trash and No Star
Yeah.
had come out, and I think actually the first song of theirs that I really loved was Bull in the Heather. That
Mhm.
which also was so weird. Like it's such a strange melody to have. But then yeah, then I really got into Dirty, and I kept following them for like Washing Machine
Mhm.
and A Thousand Leaves. But
Yes.
then once it got to like about 2000, they got like a little bit too. I don't even know what it was, but it got very, very avant-garde. And I think just at that point I was sort of getting into different things. So I sort of stopped following her at that point. But sort of like late 80s, early 90s, I think was my like peak for
Okay.
Sonic Youth era. But even to your point about them having so many albums, like years later, I went back to listen to like Bad Moon Rising, and then I actually got the very, very first EP recently, which I love as well. So even now, I'm still discovering
I don't know if I had
more
listened
Sonic
to this.
Youth.
Yes,
Well, there you
it's
go.
endless.
Yeah. So would you say like is Sister your favorite?
I've got two favorites. Sister,
Yeah.
because I think it was the first, and I remember how I feel when I had listened this to the first time. And
Yeah.
I love Sonic Nose.
Ah, interesting. Because I haven't heard that one so much. Like, I think I saw them on that tour, but
Okay.
I don't know the album so much. Was that like their last album or their second last album? Something, or it's kind of more
Yeah.
recent anyway,
Yes,
right?
I think it's this. Yes.
And did you ever get the chance to see them live?
No. It's like this.
Yeah, I have that
We
with a few
can't do
bands.
everything. We can't see all the bands that we wanted to see.
Yeah, that's true. And thinking about, the impact of their style, what kind of influence did that have on the way that you play? Were you already playing guitar when you discovered Sonic Youth?
Yes, I play guitar when I was nearly 12,
Mm.
and I had begun to play drums nearly the same time.
Oh, okay.
I was lucky to live in the countryside,
Hmm.
so I can make noise in the house. There's no problem. No
Yeah.
neighborhood. and uh, and yes, I was always playing guitar, and Sonic Youth was just, oh, you can do this with your guitar. Holy shit! And it had changed my mind about guitar for all the life, really,
Mm.
really, because you can twist things, you can have tension. It's and you need to have a revolution to have a break to breathe, and it's very very important, I think.
And so, in terms of the songs that you're writing or the songs you've written in the past, do you use unusual tunings or do you tend to stick, with something fairly consistent?
For now, I'm nearly consistent. I'm tuned in C standard,
Hmm.
but before I have a baritone,
Yes.
Jaguar Fender special baritone, and it was tuned in A with big strings, bass strings. It
Yeah.
was a mess. And when I had tried a few tunings to just have anything who fit with my voice,
Mm.
and to have anything who work. And it's because of my voice that we are tuning like this, because I want to sing low.
Yeah.
Because for me, because I'm a vocal teacher, I
Hmm.
speak a lot and I sing a lot. And I had COVID disease,
Yeah.
the first one,
Mm.
and this had made me, I don't know how to say, breathe problem,
Yeah.
and cut everything about my head voice. Oh, before I don't
Mm.
have this, and it had cut this, and for a time. So sing very very low was easy for me. So I had to choose this tuning, and for now I stay on this tuning, but I have a pedal, a pitchfork, in order to detune to other songs sometimes.
Ah, okay, right. So you don't need to retune the guitar. You can
Yeah.
just change the pitch with the pedal.
Yes.
So I was wondering maybe if you were doing lower tunings and using a baritone so that you didn't need to have a bass guitar, but it's really just about your voice, is it?
Yes. And it's I know at the beginning that we will have a lower tuning than
Mm.
E standard, because we are just two.
Yep.
But for the bass in live situation, and a little bit for the EP and the LP, it's just
Mm.
octaves.
Yeah.
It's an octave with a lot of pedal, a lot of compression, a lot of EQ, just in order to make a fake bass sound
Yeah.
with not a bass, because it's just every string is an octave down.
Yeah.
And for the LP, it was just this one, just the octave. I
Hmm.
wanted to like it was for live shows, and for the LP, it's a bass. I played bass and mixed it with the octave tones.
Mm. Yeah,
So
I think I read on maybe Bandcamp that yeah, I can see that guitars, bass, octavers, keys, recording, mixing, and mastering. So
yes,
do you do production work for other people's music as well?
um, for now, not really, and a little bit. I record my student really 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 often,
Hmm.
and I made pre-production for the bands where I was before, and the first record that I had, just record. I don't have mixed myself, but I had put the microphones on everything, but not for the drums. Drums was recorded by a friend. It was nearly just 12 years ago, nearly
Hmm.
things like this. I had recorded live session for folk musician, this kind of things, but not a lot. It's not my I don't make this 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
My work is to teach.
Yeah. But it's cool that you've got a job that's still within the music world. How long have you been doing that for?
And there's 8 or 9 years that I'm a teacher.
Yeah, that's very similar to me. Like about 9 years
Really?
being a teacher. Yeah.
It's very, very great.
Yeah.
You like to teach?
Yeah. And I
It's
also like the fact that in the beginning, it didn't really have a connection to music. But now that I'm doing more interviews, and now, after COVID, with so many things being online, like I spend a lot of my time doing English lessons online.
okay.
And when I'm doing an interview, there's some overlap
Yes.
between the two. So I'm kind of happy that everything that I'm doing starts to feel like it's all kind of in the same world.
Yes. And it's individual listen.
A lot of it, yeah. Sometimes groups, but I find online groups gets a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
So I prefer one-to-one. So, like, how much of an impact did COVID have on your work?
On my work, it was what a mess because just at this moment, my son was very, very, very little,
Mm,
nearly like this, and my former companion worked at the hospital,
mm,
and so it was hard. They say stop, you can't sing because when you sing,
yeah.
you have a lot of things will go out. And so they say, "Oh, you stop this work for how many time we don't know."
Mm,
So I was at home with my son, so I had take a lot of time with him, and it's very, 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 very cool. But but at the same time, I can't see my student
yeah.
at this time. So for this was for the first quarantine. Is
Yep.
this?
Mm,
And for the second, it was a little bit different because half I had made lessons in visual.
all right. So you're having your students online like this.
Yes, online. Yes, like this. And so it was easier. And after we had put a protection nearly here
Mm,
between the student and me, and so they can sing. But yes, it was very, very like for everybody. Yeah.
yeah.
It was a shitty time.
And the uncertainty as well, like not knowing if this is ever going to end, if we're ever going to have something that's kind of normal again afterwards. It was such a strange time.
Yes, really, really, really. But with Damien, we know each other for so many times, and we are very, very patient
Yeah.
with each other, and that's why we are two, because the priority is our sons.
Yep.
It's the priority, first thing. The second is our jobs,
Yeah.
because we need to eat, and the
Yeah.
third and the third
Mm,
this the third is the band. And so when we had begin the band, I'd say to him that I want to be a father. I want to have a home. I don't know how many time this will take, and maybe there's time when you can play because it's a life. You need to see your sons grow up, and it's important. And so when you are two, if one of our sons is ill, it's just a phone call. Sorry, my son is ill. I can't go to play. Okay, and that's okay
mm.
because we are just two and we know each other for a long time. If we are just three, there's always one who can't understand.
Yeah, true.
And for us, it's always the thing that to say, okay, there's no problem. It's okay. It's all fine. And so it's very, very great to have this.
And so you mentioned before that you started out playing drums as well as playing guitar. And I was thinking when I was listening to the album that the drums add a lot to this music, and it would be interesting to think how the songs would sound without the drums because they're very impactful, they're very powerful. There's some great, drum rolls and drum fills going on. So I was
Yes.
wondering to myself, when you were writing the songs, did you have kind of drum parts in mind, or were you sort of like surprised when Damien came in and went, right, I'm going to do this on top of that?
It's both. I always have a drum part in mind, but I never programmed a MIDI things. I always send pre-production who have been recorded at with metronome with clicks.
Yeah.
And I send it to Damien, and I always have a part in my head, the drums, and always have an idea, but I always let him surprise me. It's very, very important because sometimes they say, I think you will say that this is shit. Let's try. And often it's so fun. I never had thinking about this, because if you take the same song and you change the drums,
yeah,
it can be like this or like this. So it's
definitely
very, very fun. You can change a lot of things. But we have a way to record and to product is a little bit. I don't know if there's other people that made this, but when we made pre-productions, and even when we record, I try to say to Damien to play the main part, and to let the part where the wall is this
the drum roll,
the drum roll empty, and after we record the drum roll. Okay. Because after we can choose, this one is the greatest. This one we need to be on the song, and you can try a lot of things. And so it's always like this. I always let empty pieces for drum fill.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I think which was the track that particularly stood out with that? I think it might have been. I think there was a couple of tracks. There was So Long, and then there was also Don't Count on Them. Those were ones that I particularly noticed the drum rolls and thought they were really, really cool. But yeah, there was really cool drumming throughout. So after Damien came up with drum parts, did you then sort of like modify what you'd written, or it's basically like your songs were done and then his drum parts are done, and that's kind of the end of the writing process?
Oh, it depends. Really, really. There's always just one path. There's always changes or things. We don't have one thing to play music. We have a lot of ideas to always can play music. Even if you don't have any inspiration, I always have a lot of notes or vocals in my phone. I always have little things. It's important to have the first step to creation, to never say, just wait and say, oh, fuck, I need to have inspiration to play music. No, you just have time, play music. And so it's always like this. But we change a lot of things without thinking. Sometimes we because we don't listen to our music, because I can hate this LP and album because I had to take so many time listen in order to mix it. But sometimes we listen to LP or EP just in order to remember what we have done, and there's parts that we have changed just when we play this. So, but it's, I don't know how to say,
not a formula.
Yes, it's just little things that we change.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Have you played together on stage?
Yes, we play on stage.
And so when you play, is it just the two of you, or do you bring other people to play with you?
No, we are just two. Okay. Just two, an octave and a great sound guy.
And so, like, because you are playing different instruments on the recording, how much do you have to sort of modify what you're doing when it's just the two of you on stage?
Nothing. I think we need to change just one song for the first EP, just in order to have a part with a very, I don't know how to say. You come from a chorus to a bridge, and this is like a post-rock bridge.
Yeah.
So you need to calm down. So it's hard to play like this, to play with a full of energy, and after to be very very soft, to have it to sound great, because the strings guitar, if you want to have anything a little bit calmer, if you go too hard on it, it will not sound good. So we just have this part that we had a little bit more modified.
Okay.
but all the songs are the same because I before I think but there's a long time I think that you need to have a recording that fit with the shows and I think it's just compromises
Mm.
and no I now for now I don't like this. An album is an album, a live show is a live show. It's okay.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good principle to have. You don't want to feel like trapped in the
Yes,
way that you've recorded something.
but I when I have made double guitars,
Mm.
I try to think about one big sound
Yep.
and not too many things that separate. But
Yeah.
there are songs that we cannot play can't play on live
Mm.
for shows. Don't count on them. For
Mm.
example, we can't play this one on live, and it was and the last song we don't play this one on live too.
Mm. So often.
So often, yes.
Yeah. And thinking about the songwriting, so your first EP came out in 2022. I don't know how far back your writing goes for this project and like the lyrics, because I think I saw it was written that like the last song on the EP is kind of about depression and about loss. And
Yes.
then the first song on the album is sort of like a response to that of kind of like how to get over grief and pain and things. So
Yes.
like the kind of topics that you're singing about in the band, was there some kind of connection to the situation with COVID that you were trying to work through or other
Ah, not
things?
it's not with COVID at all. I always have I don't know how to say a song who is in progress. Always,
Mm,
always, always. And so there's no cut on the writing of the EP and the writing of
mm,
the LP is just a continuation.
yep.
But not it was not about the COVID. It was the last song of our first EP was about mourning,
Yep.
and it was the first song that we had write together with Damien
Mm,
when we had begin OCRE. Because I need to talk about this one to these things to can move on.
yep.
And I always try to have a connection between songs. Every song is connected to at least one song about harmonic things or and lyrics things.
Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, there's always a connection between two different songs.
Yes, always because I listen to a lot of music and I
Mm.
play a different genre of music, and so I need to have anything how to say coherent. Yes, it is coherent.
Oh, coherent.
Yes, it is
Coherent. Okay.
coherent. So in order to have anything coherent, I need to have connection between songs.
Mm.
And for me, it's a big map, and I can say, okay, this song can fit in this one in OCRE or not.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember your question. Sorry.
Yeah, like, you talk about mourning for the being connected to the EP. So like if you don't mind getting into some of it, like what were the particular things that you were referring to or you have been referring to in the lyrics?
For these songs was about I had lost two friends, very
Mm.
very close, and they had gone nearly 6 months between the two, and it was very very hard. Everything had go to a mess on this time.
Mm.
It was very 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 hard, and so at this period of time, everything was a mess. My life, my health, everything. Our friends, and so I had need to take this in order to grow up to move on.
Mm.
After this, because at this time I was in I play bass and backing vocals in a hardcore punk band
Mm-hmm.
where we touring in Europe.
Mm.
But I had at this time it was I need to change. I need to have a change in my life. because you don't want the same things at 20 or at 25 as we grow up. It's
Mm.
normal. And so I had stopped this band and beginning the things with Damien and says, okay, I need to calm down, to have a family, to have a home, to be happy. And so about the songs, so these songs with Forever Alone, who is the last song of the first EP,
Mm-hmm.
is connected and with the Don't Worry, with the first song of the second. And Don't Worry was about a period of time where friends and have problems.
Mm.
One of my best friend, he's like a brother, suffering from depression for a long time.
Mm.
My grandbrother had separation,
Mm.
and the one of my students had very very a lot of problems because of rape.
Wow. Okay.
And so it was all these things, and I had said to myself, oh, maybe I need to write everything we can be happy. And so it remembers Don't Worry, Be Happy from
Mm-hmm.
Bobby McFerrin and Yo-Yoba. And so it was like a mantra, like anything that
Mm.
you repeat to yourself to say, okay, it will be fine. It will be. It's hard, but it will be. And so I had wrote this song for my friend at first, and for the student, and for my grandbrother. And at least it has this mantra was good for me into when I was
Mm.
not in a good moment in my life, and this had this peaceful and helpful things.
Yeah, so I was wondering, and you sort of answered the question, if this music with OCRE is partly like it's sort of like a therapy for you, as
Yes,
well as kind of like a therapy for other people.
yes, really, really.
And so actually was the band born like kind of as a response to these things that were going on in your life? Like you felt you wanted to create something that would help you to kind of like reflect on these things that were happening.
It's always like this. I had never had I oh I'm sorry. I had always seen music like this.
Mm-hmm.
Music or art in general, if it's writing or drawing, for me it's nearly the same. It's just made positive things with negative things,
Yeah.
and it's always like this. It's just to have things to say, to get out of ourselves.
Yep.
So it's always like this. But this one was really the I think it's a more personal
Mm-hmm.
project where I had write and do things, because before I was in band where I tried to serve the band, to uh, to be at the service of the band,
Yep.
and for this one it was just being yes, we always serve the songs,
Mm.
but it's not about compromise between things.
Yeah.
It's just compromise between Damien and me, and just
Mm.
this. So it's not a lot of compromise
Yeah.
because we know each other for a long time. We have a big trust,
Mm-hmm.
in, and so it's okay. We don't have to make a lot of compromises.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you talked before about your experience going from playing with one other person, then ending up having a band that had six people, and now you've got the two again. Like I know from my personal experience when I was in a band years ago, there were, I think we had five members of the band, and we never got beyond just playing in the city that we were living in, but we played kind of regularly ish, and we always rehearsed every week. Like we had this one day that we rehearsed, we had this one appointment, and it was funny because like the bass player in the band, I think was going through some like chaos in his life. So sometimes he disappeared for the whole week. No one knew where he was. And then he came to rehearsal and you'd go like, whoa, he's here. And then he'd just play and then he'd disappear and you wouldn't see him again for the whole week. But it was hard
Yes.
to kind of keep that all together. So I can understand, like now when I'm making stuff myself, I do collaborate with people, but I think because I experience the difficulty of keeping everyone together and working together and how hard that is, it's like it's great you can collaborate, but sometimes it really helps if you don't need too many different people because you don't have to wait for someone to be ready or yeah. So I can really understand wanting to just have, the smallest number of people possible to serve the music, like you say.
Yes, it's very, very, very important. I think that what is very, very important is to have the same expectation
Mm,
and to not ask for things that are not possible for the others. And to talk is very, very important to talk about this, because when you have a band, it's not a thing where if you are four, everybody made 25% of the work of the band. It's impossible.
yeah.
We have life. We don't have the same skills. We are all different. We don't see things different, but we need to see in the same direction and to be patient. Really, really, really. But we need to talk about this because it's very important. For example, Damien in the band is work on the booking of the band,
Hmm.
but he can't do really more things than this because of this time.
Yeah.
Because he teach drums and he play in a lot of other projects. He play drums on the jazz band. He play drums with a hip hop vocalist,
Mm.
and is really really busy and do an other 100 things in a week.
Yeah. I feel like
But
good drummers are always in demand.
yes, it's this. They're always in the speed. I don't know how he do this. He's a Superman. Don't tell him.
So if he's handling the booking, are you handling social media, for
Yes,
example?
uh, he do the booking and I do all the other things.
And I wanted to ask you, because I think it's an interesting topic for bands and musicians who are doing things at an independent level where it's like the people in the band kind of have to take care of most aspects of the music and the promotion and everything around having a musical project. What's your experience with the social media side of things? Because I feel like it's hard to know how much time and energy is worth investing, and it's hard to know what it's really doing.
I don't know. I think it's a mess. The just tomorrow we talk with Damien about this, and I say, "Oh fuck, Facebook is shitty." We try to have an audience because for being programmed, you need to have an audience in social media.
Yeah.
But for now, I had see this week that there's a lot of illustrators who
Mm.
draw, people who draw,
Yeah.
who say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I will quit Facebook because I have all these people who are following me,
Mm.
but this part, just this little part, who can see my work."
Yeah.
And so now Facebook want me to pay in order to have the people who follow me who just can see my work. And so I was thinking, I think that I we need to think about maybe perhaps moving from Facebook for to go to another place, maybe Mastodon. I had seen the bands
Mm.
who go on this one because it's taking too much time. It's taken a lot of energy, a lot,
Mm.
and it's you don't see what you don't see the comeback of the thing.
Yes. That's
But
yeah, that's
we need to do this because for now we can't be just musician and wait.
yes.
We need to do something. But it's very very frustrating,
Hmm.
frustrating
Yeah.
to do this because it's not the life.
Yeah.
It's just few seconds of things, and it's not the truth. Because when
Yeah.
you see bands who play amazing plays, yes, this is just a little part of being a
Mm.
musician.
Yep.
Being is a musician on tour is just waiting in the truck and take a long time with your smelly friends
Yeah.
and don't sleep well and
Yes.
and this is the life, and it's an I think touring is an emotional elevator
Ah.
because
Yes.
at night it's a party. It's like you have friend and you begin to meet anybody and says, oh, it's like you know them from for 20 years,
Mm.
and the last days it's raining. It's gloomy. It's a
Yep.
spring, and you have 8 hours to wait to play in a place where we don't know if you will have a sound guy, if the PA is shitty or not.
Mm.
What will be the next band? And it's always like this. As this one, I speak about hardcore punk scene.
Yep.
I know that it's not. I hope it's not the same for every scene or every genre of band, but it's social media are not the truth. They are just the little part of the shiny things, and not all the work and these kind of things.
Yeah. It's difficult because I feel like if you're going to be creating art on a sort of non-mainstream level and not sort of where you have the backing to have a huge audience, you need to build communities in different ways. And so you can, if you have a like a live scene with different bands that you get on well with, then you can play together and hopefully you build up an audience that way. But that's not always easy. And then we have all of these online possibilities that in theory could give us audiences and they could bring people together. But like your example with Facebook, it's not always clear how much of an audience you really get because it's like the platforms maybe, like you say, they want you to pay. So they're going to allow people to see things. They have their different algorithms. They have ways that it either works better or it doesn't. But in the end, all of the people creating something, we're all trying to get an audience. So it's like this constant question of how do we get the audience without wasting so much time on these technical things that aren't creative. Yeah, I feel like the technology gives us all these possibilities, but it also creates these problems as well. So it's kind of like trying to figure out how to make the best of it.
Yes, it's very hard because it's just a frustration. But to say, oh, it's not our fault. We don't have an audience because Facebook is shitty. It's already it's even our fault because
Mm,
we are not good at this. I can read a lot of things, but this is hard for me because I don't have interest in this.
yep.
It's I love to learn things, but
Mm,
learn things about how to make work social media with rules would change a lot because, for example, you say, okay, you need to have hashtag, so you have a big audience. Okay, I take hashtags. No, it doesn't work. What the fuck?
yeah, I know what you mean.
Just 2 months. I can't learn things that not good 2 weeks after. It's not like this. We like to change our mind if we need about teaching and things, but not in 2 months in social media. But
Yeah,
it's our fault because it's hard, and we don't want to be every day with our phones filming ourselves
totally.
because it's not interesting. Face
Yeah, yeah, it takes away from creating.
yes, and for other people, I don't think that they want to see this, but
And
but
in,
we need to
yeah, you
take a
need a
look
bit
on
of
this.
time with it. Yeah. And in terms of, playing live and kind of having maybe other bands that you feel a connection to, do you feel like are you in a scene? Like, are there other bands that you'll play with kind of regularly, other bands that you get on with that you see that you feel are kind of like in the same sort of musical world as you?
For now, no, not really, because it's a little bit our fault. We work a lot. We have our songs and our music. So it's a little bit like we are in a just by our own.
Yep.
We don't go to see a lot of shows, and it's because we have see a lot and a lot of shows before. For there's a long time that I'm in a associative, I don't know how to say, life in order to organize a concert organization, made concert posters and things like this,
Mm.
and made a sound for a lot of shows. But there's a few years that we had a little bit stopped this
Mm.
to have time to make other things. And one thing that's hard and important for us is that playing music is our job. And so we don't go to play for nothing.
Mm.
Never. We are at the beginning of the band, we'd say, okay, we can have 5 or 6 shitty shows
Yeah.
where you are not paid. And after that, it's stop.
Mm.
Because we work on music. And so I don't go to play for visibility.
Yep.
It's my job, and it's important to get paid. And so for there's a lot of bands who play and they do what they want. But I had play for free for too many years to continue like this.
Mm.
So if we are paid, we go. If we are not paid, we not go.
And then from that point of view of quite reasonably wanting to get paid for what you do, how do you then tackle the online side of things, streaming services? Because I know that for most bands who are not getting thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of streams, like if you're on Spotify, you're going to get very little money from that. But on the other hand, if you're not on Spotify, then to a lot of people, you don't exist.
Yes.
So how do you navigate that side of things?
That side of things is that we are very very lucky because for this it's just Atypeek music who is on Spotify.
Mm.
For us, it doesn't cost anything because when you're a small band, to have your music on streaming platforms takes you money.
Yeah.
For never have money will come back.
Yep.
Because you need to have too much stream to have money will come back.
Yeah.
For sure, I think that big bands in our scene, I hope they have money will come back. I think about I don't know, a failure band or this kind of band. I hope that they have money back will come back from streaming, but it's nothing. For example, when I had talk with one of the biggest hardcore singer of France, the singer of the band Lofofora. The singer is Renaud, who is a very, very smart guy. And I had asked to him, what was life before when were you still selling LP?
Yeah.
When you were a big band in France? And he says, okay, it's like you have, for them, it's like have 13th month. I don't know.
Okay.
That was when you sing, when you have a band who sells a lot and a lot and a lot of CDs. For now, you don't have this, so we don't need to say, okay, with this we will have money. No, because it's impossible.
Yeah, you can't rely on that. You can't expect that.
No.
And do you find Bandcamp to be a positive experience? Because that seems, it's like a friendlier model for bands.
It's friendly. I think that my first band who were on Bandcamp, maybe it was on at the beginning, I think, of Bandcamp, because it was very very friendly. Yes, but we are in a niche music, so I think that with the beginning of the band, I have $10 that come from Bandcamp, but it's okay. So you don't need to rely on this too.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I haven't made a lot of money from Bandcamp.
That's why we need to be paid when we play. The next week we play with Mars Red Sky. I don't know.
Okay. Not sure. The name sounds partly familiar.
but it's one of the biggest stoner psychedelic
Okay.
from
Hmm.
France that play in USA and a big band. But for this one, we are paid.
Yeah. No, I think
But
it's a good principle. It's good to have lines.
yes, but it's very important for us. It's our job because when you see how many money you put on your music
Mm.
on the stuff, the stuff is so expensive. Even
Yes.
if there's a thing that I don't know how to say it, that go down for music. For example, for now we can you can record your band with few microphones, and the knowledge is everywhere.
Yep.
You need to be a little bit smart to try to find the great things, the great answers.
Mm.
But the knowledge is here, and stuff is not so expensive.
Yep.
Microphones for now you can do an album with this, and you have this one for all your life.
Yeah.
It's unbreakable and it's okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of things will cost a lot of money because just the amps, pedals, and guitars, and we don't talk about things that not I don't know how to say that not stays. You need guitar strings. This will not
Yeah.
stay a long time. You need drumsticks. You need a lot and a lot of cables of things that you don't even have play one note for a show, and you add just take a lot of money
Yes.
out of your pocket,
Yep. It's true.
and you even don't have play one note. So the people will say, "Oh, I think that music need to stay in patient." Fuck you. You just don't want to pay.
Yeah.
You want
Exactly.
people to drink your beers in your fucking shitty bar, and you don't think that musicians need to eat. Uh, Music needs
Yeah.
to stay a passion. Fuck you.
What about like merch? Because I've spoken to a number of bands that talk about how that's become more and more important. You know, when there's less opportunity to make money from record sales, that you got to have something that you can sell at shows. And I've had bands say to me that, you know, it feels like basically our main job is that we're t-shirt salesmen now. Like that's the main thing. So is it you have a similar experience?
With my former bands, yes, but for now we don't have money. We are broke with Damien because we had paid the Clément,
Yeah.
the Pierre. See you, hi Clément. Was very very great, and we are just two. So for this we are a little bit broke. We need to have a little bit of money to can have a little bit of merch.
Yeah.
But yes, it will be very 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 important, and you need to select your prices. I
Yep.
remember with my former band, with my core punk band, um, it depends on the city. It depends on the countries. It depends on the other prices of other bands too,
Mm.
because you need to have anything that people can afford. It's
True.
important.
Yeah.
But for
Very
now,
true.
I think one thing that can be great for bands, you just have to have your card and to pay. Excuse me.
Just like with like a contactless, like a
Yes,
card reader.
yes.
Yep.
Now you have applications and things. I don't have this one, but I know that there's bands of friends who have this one and who says, "Oh, it's great because the people, even if they don't have
The
the
cash.
money in the cash, yes, in the
Yes.
pocket, they says, oh, okay, I will take this and take that." And for their match, it's very very important.
It is a good point. I've thought about that because, yeah, sometimes I've gone to shows and it's just cash or nothing. So it's like you want to buy a record or you want to buy
Yes,
a t-shirt, you need to have the cash or you don't have it. But then I have gone to other shows where either, yeah, I think like maybe like you say with an app, like they've got something on their phone. Maybe they've got like a little device as well.
yeah,
So like they tap that and it goes through the phone. And then obviously there's more potential for people to buy something because they don't actually need to have the physical cash
Yes,
in their hand to do it.
and for example, because people when they go to shows in general, they like to have a drink. If they
Yeah,
have to think about, okay, no, I don't have a drink with my friend, but I take a CD or I take merchandising, there will be stopped.
yeah, true.
And they say to me, a friend says, "Oh, it's great because there's people who says, okay, it's by card and it's okay. So I take the LP and the shirt
Yeah,
and it's cool. So we need to think about this. It's not about being capitalist because
yeah,
I had capitalism, and I think that music who comes from punk needs to be
yeah,
against capitalism
yeah,
because it's a shitty thing. But you need to have a safe part of money when you play music.
yeah,
In France, people have a lot of problems about talking about money in music.
yeah,
Really, really, really. And it's I think it's silly because you need to have money to eat. You need
yeah.
to pay for everything. So
Well, I think also it's like it's easy to have people take advantage of you because, a lot of artists don't want to be capitalistic. They want to create art. They want to be true to what they're doing. They want to think about what they're creating and the value of that and not make it just about the money. But if like to your example with having to pay for guitar strings and having to buy cable and things like we can't get out of the fact that we live in a world where we have to pay for things.
yes,
So it's totally fair to say that we should get some kind of return for what we're doing because otherwise we're just slaves in a
yes,
system where we have to pay for things but we get nothing back.
yes. If you look to the example of the shitty bar where they don't they say okay, passion music needs to stay a passion just in order to don't pay you. They
Yep.
are the capitalists. You are
Yep.
the money. People are the money, and it's shitty. One thing that's very very impressionant for me is Birds in Row. Did you know this band?
Not sure.
They are a hardcore punk band, screamo,
Okay.
and they were at the on the I don't remember the name, the label of the Converge, the
Oh yeah.
singers. Uh,
Yeah, what's his name? Kurt Ballou.
Kurt Ballou is the guitarist who produced things. Jacob Bannon.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
They were on this label, this one, and I don't know if I remember really really, but I know that they are Birds in Row, this band, who is a French band who play amazing music, really really, very very emotional, very 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 hard, and very very great. You need to take a look.
All right, I will.
And this band is really really upright because they had stopped to work with the label, this label, because they want to stay the people free for
Mm.
paying the merchandising.
Hmm.
And it's so crazy because you need to teach to people to say, okay, it's not because you can choose how many you want to put on the record that you need to be fair.
Yep.
You need to think by yourself.
Mm.
And I think it's very, very it takes strength to can say, okay, we stop to play with, we stop to work with this beautiful, with these big labels,
Mm.
just in order to stay anti-capitalist. And it's a very, very upright. It's great.
Yeah, well, there's always the example of Fugazi, like the ultimate ethical band. Like they wouldn't do interviews with magazines where they had advertisements for cigarettes or for alcohol. They always made sure that the records that they sold were at an affordable price. The same with merch. Like they got offered huge amounts of money to play festivals that they didn't want to play for ethical reasons. So it's like you can do it. You can find an ethical path through everything. It's hard,
Yeah, it's
but
out.
there are the examples there that show it can be done. But yeah, it's like if you want to if you want to carve out your little space with this huge system working away over you, it's not easy.
And I think it's more easier maybe if you are a little bit bigger, but when you are
Yeah.
small, you need to make compromises because
Yeah.
we are just little human and we try to make the most we can do, but it's just this, and
Yeah.
it's hard because be ethic is hard.
It's true. It's very true.
But I think that if we're questioning ourselves, is it's the beginning of the answers. So it's the most important thing, I think.
I agree. Yes, you got to be asking questions in the first place.
Yes.
Now, it's been great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I just want to ask, so at the time we're doing this interview, it's a few weeks until the album comes out. We've talked about social media and the pros and cons of it. But in general, you know, what's the best way for people to follow the band? What's going to be the best way for people to get hold of the album? I'll put any links that you want into the description of the interview when it comes out. Where should people go if they want to know where you're playing live? How do they keep track of OCRE
I
and
think on
support the band?
Instagram and in Bandcamp,
Yep.
it's okay. And after for following us, normally we are on a lot of social streaming platforms.
Yep.
But we are silly because bands who have the same names as us. OCRE.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's too much. We are not good at this. We're not good at communication. We're not good at choosing a name. We are. Not, it's like this. But I think yes, on Instagram and I think in Bandcamp they can follow us for the information.
Yeah. Cool. Well, like I said at the beginning, I think the album's really cool. So I've got to get the title right. So often Lifeblood comes from ashes. I think it's a really cool album. I really enjoy it. I hope people check it out. And yeah, it was really cool to chat to you. So I wish you all the best for the release. And yeah, hopefully one day, you guys will come to play in the UK.
Oh, I hope. Maybe one day. I hope.
Yeah. And I'll keep an eye out when I'm back through. I used to live in Germany for a while. And I used to live in Czech Republic as well. So a little bit closer.
Okay. And now you're in Germany?
No, I was up until the end of 2023. Now right now I'm in Oxford, but I live in Glasgow in Scotland. So,
okay.
But you know, it's an international world. Traveling is not impossible.
Yeah, I think it's I feel that our generation is a little bit, I don't know how to say, but Europe was important at school when we were young. And I feel that these things that if you say, do you think that feel French? French, I don't know, and traditions are shitty a lot of time, but I feel European.
Yes. Yeah, I have no national identity really. I originally come from Australia, but
okay.
If someone asks me what my nationality is, like I've decided in the end, like, okay, I'm Scottish.
Okay.
But I'm not really Scottish. I just had to find something. But yeah, European is good. I'll take European.
Great.
All right, Pierrick, it was great to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All the
See
best.
ya.
Bye.
What guides us? Is it uphill? No, I try. Oh, past and